I will not be the Luna of this pack.
Because that spot belongs to me. No one wants you and your bastard son here.
What did you just say about my son, bitch?
Could you explain what exactly happened between you and my brother 17 years ago? When I heard my mom ask Rosalyn if she would become the Luna for our pack, my heart sank because I thought she would say yes. And even though I know it's wrong, when she refused, I had almost burst with happiness. My brother is an idiot. How could he reject someone so beautiful and strong? I was so pissed at him and that bitch Amber because of how they spoke to her, so when she left and headed for the woods, I quickly grabbed some clothes from the spares we keep putting in trees for when we shift in the woods. I called out to her as she was entering the forest. Her wolf is pure white and breathtaking. She turned around when she heard me calling and sat in the grass, waiting for me to catch up. I handed her the clothes, and she seemed to catch my drift, because she immediately took them and went behind a tree to change. When she came from behind the tree, my heart skipped about for beats when I saw her. I didn't realize the clothes would fit so perfectly. Plus, the shorts looked a lot like booty shorts, and damn, she looked so hot. I gathered myself before she caught me gawking at her, and decided to talk to her about this whole thing that's been going on. I wanted to talk to you and also apologize for the way my family acted towards you and my nephew, I told her. I also noticed throughout this whole ordeal, no one bothered to ask for your side of the story. So I came here to ask just that, not for the sake of my family, but my own. I wanted to know why I only found out I had a nephew just a couple of days ago, so please, if you don't mind, could you explain what exactly happened between you and my brother 17 years ago? I asked, hoping she would confide in me. I could hear a small sigh leave her lips before she started speaking. 17 years ago on your brother's birthday, I was at home in my room like I always was, when my brother Michael barged into my room demanding that I get dressed because he and I were going to the soon-to-be Alpha's birthday party. I didn't want to go, but he somehow managed to convince me. When we reached the pack house, it was crowded, and at that time, I didn't do crowds, so I was feeling out of place and very claustrophobic. With the help of Michael, I weaved my way into the kitchen and sat on a stool. We were there for quite some time until we started drinking, and this random girl came up to Michael, asking if he wanted to dance. He was hesitant at that time, but I told him I'd be fine, and he left with her. Almost immediately, the most intoxicating scent of wild pine and fresh rain filled my nose. I followed the scent and somehow ended up by the bottom of the stairs in front of your brother. We started dancing and drank a lot of alcohol. Then the next thing I knew, I was giving up my V-card to my mate, whom I thought would cherish me forever. However, when I woke up the next morning, caught him trying to sneak out of the room. At first, I thought he was just being quiet, so he wouldn't wake me, but then, when he realized I caught him in his escape, he sighed and turned to me with a look of pure disgust on his face, that the words that shattered my heart to pieces. Kishan Black, soon-be Alpha of the Howling Moonpack, reject you, Rosalyn Parker, as my mate and future Luna, and with that, he left without even a second glance. When I looked over at the clock, I realized it was 6 o'clock in the morning, so I got dressed and ran home, straight to my room. I cried for a whole day, not leaving my room to eat or anything else. When I thought about my life and everything I've been through, I considered killing myself just to make the pain go away. But then, I decided to take all the money I saved up over the years and run away. I first booked a flight to New York and stayed in a cheap motel for a couple of days. Then thought about how much I always wanted to go to Italy, so I booked a flight to Italy. I went sightseeing and did all the stuff I had on my bucket list. However, I was still depressed. I ran out of money eventually, as it wasn't a whole lot. I was so hungry and I slept in the parks, on the benches and in kids' slides when it was too cold at night. It was so rough. I considered suicide once again. This time, I was ready to do it, until my wolf told me that I was pregnant. I was so shocked. I didn't believe it until she told me to listen for myself. When I heard my baby's heartbeat, I knew I had to survive, no matter what. I went job hunting anywhere I could, but I had no luck. One day, I was walking, and I ran into the Alpha and Luna of my pack, and they bought me something to eat. After we talked, and they heard my story, they asked me to join their pack, and after much convincing, I finally joined the pack. I trained and became a pack warrior after I gave birth to Alessandro. However, I had moved from the pack house as well, and started my own little business. I taught Alessandro to fight, and defend himself against any attack from he was a young boy, because no matter what I had to make sure he's safe. When she was finished speaking, I could see tears gathering in her eyes. After hearing what she had to say, I was beyond pissed off. How could my brother treat her like that? She looked like she was about to cry, so I did the only logical thing I could. I hugged her. Her skin was so soft and smooth. I was so happy to finally be able to hold her in my arms. It felt so right. After a few seconds, I let her go though, much to my dismay. I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable or think I'm trying to make a move on her or anything. Now, it wasn't the time. I didn't even know if there will be a time, but I just wanted to comfort her. My brother is an asshole, and so is my dad, so don't listen to them. They are the ones who aren't good enough for you, so don't let anything they say get to you, I told her. Thanks, Germaine, she replied with a little smile, then walked into the forest. I just stood there watching her as she walked away from me. I could feel my heart breaking piece by piece. And it was slowly killing me. She was the only one who could fill the huge gap in my heart. But I felt like it would never be filled, because she will never accept me. I sighed and turned around, making my way back to the pack house, my heart as heavy as lead. My parents and Kishan were still in the living room. I'd hear them arguing about Amber becoming the Luna. But I zoned them out. I could care less about what my brother does. All I cared about was Rosalyn. So I just went straight to my room and laid on the bed, thinking of what life could have been like if Rosalyn was my mate.
I was currently in Genevieve's room helping her finalize the catering for the wedding, but for some reason, my mind kept going back to Germaine. I was shocked when he asked to know my side of the story, but what surprised me most of all was when he hugged me. It was so warm and comforting, it made me feel like I belong in his arms. No, I can't think like that. I scold myself. He's the brother of the alpha, my ex-mate, plus, his dad despises me for some unknown reason, but I could care less about Kishan or his asshat of a father. I thought about the days when I was in high school, how I would fawn over Germaine every time I saw him. His eyes, his soft hair that made me want to run my fingers through it, his lips that looked as sweet as strawberries, his body, all the things I would do to that body. Hello, Earth to Rosalyn, are you listening to what I'm saying? Genevieve said, bringing me back to reality. I'm so sorry, Jen, I zoned out for a moment there. What were you saying? I was asking if you think I should use the lavender ribbon for the bouquet or the white, but it seems your mind is somewhere else. Is something wrong? No, nothing's wrong. I was just thinking, I answered. Yeah, thinking about someone obviously, she said with a sly smirk on her face. What? No, I wasn't, I said, trying to hide, the blush slowly creeping up my cheeks. Yeah, right. I don't believe you for 1 second, so spill it. Who's the guy? She asked, still smirking. It's Germaine, I said, looking away. Oh my god, the alpha's brother, she yelled. Keep your voice down, someone might hear you, I whisper. Sorry, she replied with a sheepish grin. So do you like him or something? Wait, are you guys secretly dating? What? No, we're not. It's just that I had a crush on him when we were kids. And he hugged me today, and I guess all those feelings came rushing back, and now I can't stop thinking about him, I said with a sigh. So why don't you just tell him how you feel? She asked like it was the most obvious thing in the world. Are you crazy? He's my ex's brother, I can't do that. Besides, he probably has a mate, and was just being nice when he hugged me. It meant nothing. She had a sad look on her face as she said, actually his mate died in a car crash some time ago, so he is available, plus, if you don't tell him how you feel, how will you know if he feels the same way or not? Oh my god, his mate died. That's so sad, I can't imagine how he must feel, especially with all the controversy with me and Kishan. Besides, what if he doesn't like me? I don't want to be rejected again. Jen, I can't. I'll just let it be. I'm not gonna tell him anything. And I'll be gone within a month. Besides, I don't even understand these feelings myself, and I don't want to get hurt. Okay, I understand and I support your decision, but honey, You can't keep yourself locked away forever because you fear being rejected. You have to put yourself out there, or the right person might just pass you by. Thank you, Jen, and I know that, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to help your wedding. After that, we'll focus on me, deal? Okay, deal, she replied. By the way, Rosalyn, I wanted to ask you a favor. What is it? I asked. Well, I was wondering if you would be my maid of honor. She said nervously. Genevieve, I would be honored. I replied smiling. After that, we worked, gossiped, and talked about random stuff until we were finally finished. After helping Genevieve, it was around 5 in the evening. So I made my way to the kitchen to grab something to eat. When I realized I haven't seen Alessandro since he went to the woods, I knew he wasn't hurt or I would have felt it, but still decided to check on him. Me Bambino, are you okay? I haven't seen you since you left for the woods. I asked through our mind link. I'm fine, Mama. I'm in Grandpa's room. We're having dinner and talking. I left some food for you in a blue container in the fridge. Your name is written on it. He replied, okay, thank you, baby boy, love you. I love you to Mom. I cut off the mind link afterward and went to get my dinner from the fridge. The blue container was there. As he said with my name written in Italian, I smiled when I saw it. I placed the food in the microwave for it to heat up and decided to play Lords Mobile on my phone while I waited. I was so engrossed in the game, I didn't hear someone enter the kitchen until they spoke. Wow, I didn't peg you for a gamer, a sexy voice said from behind me. I was so frightened, I elbowed the person in the stomach. Jesus, Rosalyn, what did you do that for? Jermaine yelled, holding his stomach. Oh my gosh, Jermaine, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to hit you, but you really shouldn't sneak up on people like that. I could have killed you. You idiot. What if I had drawn a knife or something? Are you insane? I could have seriously hurt you. Don't you dare sneak up on me again, I said, not realizing I was shouting. Okay, calm down. I won't do it again, and I didn't mean to frighten you. I just saw you so engaged in your phone. I was surprised to see you playing Lords Mobile, he replied with a hint of amusement in his voice. Besides, he continued. Besides? I asked, raising a brow. Well, he said with a smirk drawing on his lips. You were shouting at me about how I could have gotten hurt. I didn't know you cared that much. Well, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. I was just concerned because I told your brother I wouldn't hurt any more of his pack members, I said, hiding my face that was turning red. Oh really? Because that blush creeping up on your face tells me something else, he said, still smirking. What the hell is happening to me? This guy has me blushing like a shy teenager, I thought to myself. Oh please, don't flatter yourself, I'm not blushing, I replied, trying to sound unaffected by his voice that was sending shivers down my spine. Is that so? He asked, taking a step closer to me. That's right, I said, taking one step back. He continued stepping closer until my back hit the countertop. He placed his arms on the counter, keeping me trapped in between. He came closer and closer until his lips were just inches away from mine. I could feel his hot breath on my lips. I looked up only to get lost in his emerald green eyes. I could have sworn he was gonna kiss me until he turned his head and whispered in my ears. You can say what you want, but your eyes tell me something else, sweetheart. And with that, he grabbed an apple from the fruit basket and left. I stood there shocked, wondering what the heck had just happened. I jumped when the microwave beeped, signaling my dinner was ready. I couldn't believe how one person could affect me in such a way. But then again, he's so damn hot. I can see why he makes me feel this way. I was enjoying my dinner until I was hit with a foul scent that made me want to barf. It was so rancid and it was coming from everywhere, and that's when it hit me. Gross.